On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype. We make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on? A blessed and wonderful Thursday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Jan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything what go on in Jamaica. So watch this now, my peeps, in the morning, yeah. We're going to kick it off with an international story where this jealous Jamaican woman, presently on your screen, identified as Sakiyna Thompson, flew all the way to the state of Florida to go confront and take the life of her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend in a jealous rage. Boy, may I tell you, my peeps, the thing rough. The fatality took place in July of 2022. And she was recently found guilty of that particular fatality. Yeah, man. Now, we are going to hear some court proceedings as it unfolded.
Over 2 hours of testifying in her own defense, Sakiyna Thompson told jurors she was jealous of the relationship her boyfriend had with the victim, Kayla Hodgson.
A little, I guess you could say, jealous and insecure.
Thompson admitted to flying from New York to Tamarack in July of 2022, in part to confront Hodgson about the relationship, hoping to convince the other woman to stop. This video shows Thompson showing up unexpectedly at Hodgson's Tamarack apartment at 4 o'clock in the morning. When Hodgson let her in, Thompson says a conversation about their love triangle quickly turned sour. Thompson says Hodgson hit her over the head with a hookah.
She just starts grabbing my hair and punching me, and I'm on the floor. I'm kicking. I'm trying to get up to fight back at this point because now it's a fight.
Thompson was 2 months pregnant at the time. She told the jury she had no choice but to grab something sharp and defend herself. Thompson testified that when she thought Hodgson was dead, she tried to clean up parts of the crime scene with Lysol wipes and paper towels.
Now we're going to hear the court proceedings as the guilty verdict was handed down to the Jamaican national and also from family members of the now deceased woman, Kayla Hodgson. Now listen.
State of Florida versus Sakiyna Thompson.
A burden lifted.
We, the jury, find as follows as the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree.
Guilty is what this family has waited to hear for more than 3 years.
We finally have some justice for Kayla.
A jury found Sakiyna Thompson guilty of killing 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson in 2022. Prosecutors argue Thompson surprised Hodgson at her Tamarack apartment, confronted her about the two of them dating the same man, and then stabbed her to death. Hodgson's family cried tears of joy in the courtroom Tuesday. They hugged each other tight because a guilty verdict is what they prayed for.
We're so thankful in this moment that the jury was able to see the story for what it is, that Kayla did not deserve to die the way that she did.
Defense attorneys insist Thompson didn't start the fight. They say Hodgson hit Thompson first and cut her stomach with a piece of glass. When Thompson took the stand earlier in the week, she admitted she killed Hodgson because her life was in danger and she was pregnant.
She thought, oh God, she's coming for me and my baby. That's when she grabs the glass and then she blacks out.
After the murder, Thompson admitted she changed into the victim's clothes, cleaned up some of the scene, and that she was too scared to call police. She also threw evidence in the trash. A life taken too soon. Years later, the family says they got justice.
And the moment I heard guilty, it was what we all needed for closure in this moment to move forward, to start our healing process. It's been a long 3.5 years.
Why, may I tell you, my peeps, the thing rough. Now the next thing that we are going to talk about, you know, my peeps, is coming out of Ontario, Canada, where a Jamaican man had his sentence cut in half for trafficking the illicit white drug. We are talking about the white lady, the sniff, the powdery substance. Yeah, man. And of course, after him burn off him time, he will most definitely be facing deportation from Canada. Now, the man in question is presently serving a 6-year sentence in a Canadian prison for trafficking, fentanyl, and also gun-related offenses. And the Jamaican man in question has since been identified as 32-year-old Roosevelt Rush. He has been living in Brampton, Canada. Now, he was caught with 55 grams of the illicit white drug after he was released from custody on bail in December 2022 before sentencing took place for the fentanyl trafficking and gun convictions. The Ontario Court Justice heard Rush was wearing a GPS monitoring device when authorities tracked him to where he was caught with the illicit white drug. Now, you can't serve for a criminal element like this. He was found guilty for fentanyl and gun-related charges, and them extending bail for him come back for sentencing. And he was caught with the illicit white drug right in between that time there. Then this your brother you learn. Keep him, make him burn off his sentence, then hope you can send him somewhere else still, cause Jamaican really too need him. We have enough to deal with as it is. Boy, may I tell you, them a man here, fool. Now, back to local style, my peeps. We have a rather interesting set of topics coming up in this morning's set of stories. But before me get into that, I had a discussion with a dear friend of mine, on the Spot News Media loyalist down to the T. We were having a discussion, but you don't know more time you have to agree if you disagree and just let sleeping dogs lie. One of them type of discussion then. We were talking about where the policeman allegedly tried to set up the youths them and drop the magazine in the back of the vehicle. I held my point and the person held theirs. But my dear friend sent me this particular message that stated that, do you know that sadly, the force that should be there to serve and protect is the epitome of corruption, believe it or not. And I am in total agreement with your statement. Why? Because the society that we are living in is basically a reflection of what she stated. And where does our government official comes from? The same corrupt society. Where does our police and soldiers come from? The same corrupt society. So we will never see a squeaky clean police force if the society that we all belong to is a corrupted society. But you know what I don't like about some of us as Jamaicans? We are very selective when it comes on to corruption. Case in point, you want to go get your fitness done on your car. But under normal circumstances, you're supposed to take your car to the examination depot. The examiner drives your car rigorously so to test the fitness of the car. But you don't want that. Because I have seen how the examiners then drive the car and trust and believe, my peeps, then deal with it rough, literally so. So most persons opt to just pay one little man when they in at the examination depot. We go squeeze the examiner around a one part where you can't see. And voila, your fitness stamp and approve, seal and sign, and you go about your merry ways. Selective corruption. So here what Jamaicans, yard and abroad. You see, if we are going to speak out against corruption, let's not do it selectively. Let us speak about corruption on a broad spectrum. Because you cannot expect to have a squeaky clean police force if you don't have a clean society where the police members, the members of the force, comes from. You cannot have a squeaky clean government system where them come from out of same corrupt society. So some of the corruption are going to fall somewhere, somehow, inside the organization. So here what we need to do. Fix society. Fix ourselves. To each person, be true to yourself. Fix ourselves. Fixing society will definitely give a domino effect in fixing all the government entities that we are complaining about. And we make them corrupt because them come from the same corrupt society in which we reside. And we grow them, and we give birth to them, and we groom them. So what we are crying about? The cry should be fixing society and not just fixing one part of society selectively. Yeah, man. May I beg somebody just answer me this one question. If society, our Jamaican society, represents a pool of dirty water, dip the cup, the JCF cup, JDF cup, parliamentarians cup, any government sector cup in that pool of dirty water, and tell me, so when you dip it in it, you really expect to get clean water. Even if you put on the cup for the dregs, as what we call it, sickle down at the bottom, tilt over a cup and pour it in the JCF, all of that dregs there, I go filter out tonight. And that is what we're seeing playing out today in our very society. Yeah, man. So let us fix society and trust and believe the domino effect will happen. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about locally, my peeps, is in relation to our nation's most vulnerable. We are talking about our little children. Now, at least 4 cases of child trafficking is being investigated so far this year. So now we're going to hear from Diane Gordon Harrison, who was speaking at a recent Jamaica Baptist Union Historical Society 22nd Annual George Lecture at the Mambi Park Baptist Church in St. Andrew. Now, data shows that between 2020 and the end of September 2025, over 80% of the people trafficked in Jamaica were children.
We've seen a significant number of the victims identified in Jamaica being children, and they're between the age of 11 through to 17. In 2020, we had 8 victims identified. 7 of them were children. In 2021, 10 victims, 6 were children. 2022, 11 victims identified, all 11 were children. In 2023, 13 victims were identified, 7 of them were children. And in 2024, of the 10 victims identified, all 10 were children. And so far for 2025, we have identified 4 victims and all 4 are children. Men, so far in Jamaica, are predominantly identified as the main perpetrators of human trafficking. However, females are gradually assuming a more dominant role. They are appearing as traffickers themselves or as very significant players within the human trafficking syndicate or organization, and they assist with the recruitment and so on. They assist with the orientation as to what the new recruits must do if they're going to have this business operate and bring in the profit. So we see that women are really using their nurturing side for not so good purpose.
Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is where an ex-firefighter pleads guilty to taking the life of his mother-in-law. So the former member of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, who was accused of taking the life of his mother-in-law in January of 2024 and burying her remains in Claremont, St. Anne, pleaded guilty to the capital charge when his trial began in the St. Anne Circuit Court last Wednesday. Now the criminal element in question, the ex-firefighter, has since been identified as 41-year-old Dwayne Simpson, and he has been charged with taking the life of this female, presently on your screen, 63-year-old at the time, Maxine Parkinson. Now Miss Parkinson failed to return home on the night of Monday, January 8, 2024, and a report was subsequently made to the police, who launched an investigation. Now, Simpson was held 2 days later. That's the criminal element, Dwayne Simpson. He took the police to a scheduled area in Nine Palm, that's near Harmonyville in Claremont, St. Anne, where the gruesome discovery was made of Miss Parkinson's lifeless body with several chop wounds. Now, the criminal element was subsequently charged with her loss of life. At the start of the circuit trial last Wednesday, he pleaded guilty before High Court Justice Simone Wolfe Reese, and he most definitely will be sentenced next week. Yeah, man. Boy, may I tell you, my peeps, the thing rough. Now the search is still on for the Beryllium security guard, we take the people their money and take away himself quick and fast. Yeah, man. Now the management team of Beryllium Security Company has formally filed a criminal complaint with the police after over $15 million in cash was stolen from one of its trucks on the weekend. Now the reports was filed at the St. Andrew Central Police Division headquarters, that a Half-a-Tree police station. So a 32-year-old driver of the security company has been listed as the prime suspect in the theft of over 15 million Jamaican dollars. More details of the incident have emerged since On The Spot News Media started about it. Well, it is reported that sometime on Saturday 9 a.m., the suspect, along with 4 other security officers, went to Megamart Superstore on Waterloo in St. Andrew to service an ABM. The driver was left in the armored truck, but on the return of the other workers to the vehicle, they observed that he was missing. They made checks with the security personnel at Megamart and viewed CCTV footage which revealed that the driver exited the front of the vehicle with a backpack. It is stated that he went to the back of the armored truck, then entered. It is stated that he later was seen exiting the armored truck with the same bag and left the compound. He left his uniform and the firearm assigned to him. So this brother here just make the whole world know, say, listen me a no good man, you know. Me just a thief some money. It really serious. Now the team later went to his house in Linstead, St. Catherine, but he was not found. Efforts to contact him via cell phone have proved futile. Now we get a name for the security. But we're not going to release the name just yet. I don't know why all media outlets refuse to release the name. So we're not going to release the name just yet. But, and not just him missing, him wife, and him 3 pitney them, gone too. No trace whatsoever. No social media account active. Every single last one for every single last one of them have been deactivated. So the security guard sit down and plan this one year strategically and carry it out. And I'm pretty sure that many of you, the ones and ones them, I got state in the comment section say, so I'm to that. Security thief some money and left. Kudos to him. But that just goes to show the selectivity of us as Jamaicans when it comes on to corruption. See it? How they get caught. But anyway, make we continue. Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps. The other day we saw where a big search go on a prison there. And them find weed, cell phone, and guess what else? A 9mm round. It is stated that it was thrown over the fence by unscrupulous persons on the outside, and prisoner pick it up and run to himself. However, the parcel was retrieved and the items found. Now, the Commissioner of Corrections decides him to put up some more surveillance cameras and some more scanners to help to stop what they describe as corruption within the institution, because wardens are also being blamed for carrying the contraband, and also persons on the outside, living on the outside, visitors, our family members, our friends, are throw things over the wall and land it in the prison. Now, as we all know, inmates have been doing this for a mighty long time by means of staying behind bars and using the means of a cell phone to order contract knockings and clappings in the outside world. 2 weeks ago, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang stated that the issue continues to be a challenge. His comment followed the October 5th mass knockings and clappings in the Commodore district just outside Linstead, St. Catherine. Now we're going to hear from the Commissioner of Corrections, that's Brigadier Raj Mason, as he weighs in on this latest development. Now listen.
We have been preparing all the facilities which are now at a much better standard, much higher standard, with modern technology, CCTVs, and we'll be implementing scanners, full body scanners and so on. Very soon that we would have acquired some already, and that the program is in progress.
A move that could minimize the smuggling of contraband.
Absolutely. By all, we have problems with visitors who throw stuff over the fence, try to smuggle stuff in, and unfortunately a few of our officers would have also been guilty of this. And so this investment in technology will make better the screening and the wholesome security and management of the respective institution. The country would have seen the value in the transformation of the JCF, the transformation of the Jamaica Defence Force, the equipping of our customs, and so the corrections must be the same. There has to be full transformation with technology leading, education, training leading, so that all the law enforcement agencies are strong and work closely together and not in silos. We are incentivizing the program now. There are stipends that are provided for inmates who participate and who do work, actual work within the facilities and outside of the facilities. And so this incentivization of the rehab program will see much greater take-up in the next few weeks and months to come.
Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is that another policeman end up losing 3 pints. But sad to say, it was not by the hands of a criminal element, nor the bullet from a gun. But this time, the policeman took his own 3 pints. Now, the police in St. Elizabeth are probing the loss of life of this policeman whose lifeless body was found hanging from a tree in his yard in Williamsfield district on Wednesday afternoon. The policeman in question has since been identified as Constable Arnold Wilson, who was attached to the Half-a-Tree police station in St. Andrew. The police states that the matter is being treated as a case of him taking his own 3 pints. Now, according to the police, preliminary information gathered that the policeman was on leave from work amid the reported loss of life of a close relative. We get to understand that the close relative was his father. The police report that sometime after 5:30 p.m., a neighbor stumbled upon the lifeless body of the policeman hanging from a rope from an ackee tree in his yard and raised an alarm. The police were called into the scene, who processed the scene, and the investigators have determined that, hey, it looked like Squaddy taking own 3 pints. Boy, me I tell him, my peeps, the thing rough. Mental health in our country is affecting everybody, all walks of life, all walks of society and profession. So we definitely need to start take mental health serious. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about is still in the St. Elizabeth Police Division, where the St. Elizabeth Police have seized this Smith & Wesson revolver during an operation on a church compound. It was confirmed by the head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, that's Superintendent Coleridge Minto. Now, reports reaching On The Spot News Media would suggest that on Sunday, October 12th, sometime around 7 p.m., a team of police personnel acting on intelligence conducted an operation at a church premises in the district of Magati policing area. It is stated that upon the arrival of the police conducted a thorough search of the compound. During the search, a Smith & Wesson revolver was discovered wrapped in an orange piece of cloth near the perimeter fencing of the church. No one was arrested in relation to that magnificent find. So right there and then, another decent spot of work again by the squaddy them. Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.